Welcome to a mini guide for the Masochist and Path to Peace Blackout challenges. They aren't very complicated, but the description for Masochist might be a little confusing. First, I'll get Path to Peace out of the way. It really doesn't require a guide. I just figured I'd throw it in here in case even one person was stuck in a solo player mindset thinking this sounds incredibly difficult to pull off. But no, you can do it in duos and squads, where your teammates get kills. As long as you end the game with no kills, you will unlock the challenge. You can deal damage as well, so you can support your team with concussions, recon cars, maybe some smokes, plus the medic perk to do some clutch reviving. Just don't down or kill anybody. If you play enough squad games, that's bound to happen eventually, unless you always play hyper-aggressive and carry your squad every time, in which case maybe you have to tone it down a little to unlock this challenge. But as long as you spend enough time playing in a group of average players, this challenge shouldn't be a major concern overall. It's really just a challenge about being carried. It even works if you die right away, with no kills of course, and your team goes on to win. Still counts as a win. So it isn't an impossibly hard pacifist luck-based thing where you have to sneak around for the entire game and hope that the final two people somehow end up killing each other in some sort of fluke grenade exchange or die to the zone, which hilariously actually happened in the game that I unlocked the challenge because the other team got stuck at the bottom of the hydro dam. I even watched them jump down earlier and predicted they'd get stuck down there because it has happened to me before. If the circle is closing around the hydro dam, always get to the high ground because there's a strong chance you'll get wrecked by a bad circle and will have no way to climb the cliff. This was a good game, had a few kills, even picked up that war machine at the end there, but my positioning was terrible. I left it way too late to get up that cliff. Final thing about Path to Peace, just a cool little Easter egg. The art is inspired by a campaign scene of Gideon from Advanced Warfare, exosuit and all. Here's a post with a comparison of someone goofing on it for being lazy as a joke. But as explained by this man in the comments, it's likely a reference to the biblical figure Gideon and the 40 years of peace during his lifetime. And it's clearly a redraw, it's not like a screenshot, so I wouldn't call it lazy, just a cool reference and a nod to Advanced Warfare. Okay, story time over. How about this Masochist challenge? Place in the top 5 using only the first inventory item picked up. Well, to me, that reads like you can loot as many things as you want, as long as the only thing you use was the first thing you picked up. Well, that's wrong. I'll go through some examples of what doesn't work later on, but to cut to the chase, it seems like what you have to do is pick up only one thing. I recommend that be a gun, and that's it. Not even the ammo next to the gun, and not any attachments or armor or healing items. After that, it doesn't matter if you use the gun or not. You don't have to get any kills. Just survive to the top 5 by sneaking around and hiding, applying all that stealth strategy and good positioning, moving with the collapse to be behind people, not making noise, and keeping to where you expect fewer people would be coming from, that being farther from the spawn path and away from any hot zones. So summary, reaching the top 5, having only picked up one item, should unlock the challenge, and you only need to do it one time, so I don't think it is terribly difficult. If you commit to hiding from gunfights, I find you can get to the top 15 9 times out of 10. Usually the top 15 circle is still this size. If you're hiding on the edge somewhere, it's very unlikely you'll be found, so at least then you'll be getting those free 50 merits and it won't feel like you completely wasted your time if you die before top 5. Then getting to the top 5 maybe happens 30% of the time. Of course, it's mostly luck whether or not someone stumbles across you, and whether or not you get an unlucky circle that has you running across an open area. Circles close to the edge, like this one in the desert or out in the ocean, make it much easier to sit around and survive. This was my favorite circle ever. Apparently no one expects you to sit out in the ocean for an entire game. That was an easy top 3. Here was another very ocean-heavy circle, easy second place with no items. Another fun place to hide is up in the hydro dam cliffs when the circle's up there. Sat there to the top 5 in this game when suddenly I heard someone. Too bad there was no Bowie knife back then. Central circles are tougher. If it's like this, I might not even bother camping at the edges. Just run straight to the middle and go prone halfway in a bush in the shade somewhere, wait for a few more circles to pass, and odds are you'll still be in it. That's what I did in that attempt where I unlocked the challenge. It shouldn't take very long in my experience, and as you can see, I have plenty of experience getting to the top 5 by being a total bitch. That isn't a brag, it takes no skill. This is from back when camping didn't disqualify you from black market progress. Yeah, as a side note, they changed that a little while ago, so what I said in that black market earn rate testing video is no longer true. Now, sitting around in Blackout for too long without doing anything will completely disqualify that game from earning any tier progress. Just like the multiplayer AFK kick, except you don't get kicked from the game, just disqualified from the black market. Even if you earn merits after having been AFK for a bit, you won't get your daily tier skip from that game, never mind regular progress. You have to keep moving to be eligible now. Anyway, back to this challenge. I can't give much other advice if you're still having trouble with it, seeing as you can only pick up one item. I recommended the one thing you pick up be a gun for a couple reasons. One being it gives you a way to defend yourself if you have to, and two, that's the way I unlocked the challenge with a gun, so I know it works. I can't 100% confirm every type of item works. Like if you pick up a smoke grenade or dead silence as your one item and you use it, the challenge makes it sound like using your one item is perfectly fine, but I can't confirm that. And those wouldn't give you enough of an advantage to bother trying. Just whatever you do, don't make the one item you pick up armor. That is a terrible idea because your footsteps are much louder when you wear armor. It isn't just level 3 that makes you louder like I've seen some people believe. Any armor will make you very easy to hear. Have a listen on a couple different surfaces.
Sit rep. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.
Armor's only helpful when you get in a gunfight, but you won't have a gun, so armor will only be hurting you. And as a general Blackout tip, if your armor is almost broken, you may as well get rid of it. No armor might be better because you'll be quieter, you may be able to get the drop on someone, unless you're running in a full squad of armored people, then obviously it doesn't matter. Back to the challenge again. In terms of what weapon you pick up, of course it doesn't matter that much because ideally you'll never have to use it, but LMGs would be ideal since you can't pick up extra ammo and they'll have that big full magazine to start with. The Zweihander is a good option because it's common in zombies areas and does well even without attachments since it can't have any, or if you stumble across a gold gun with all the attachments already on it, I do believe that would count for the challenge as the one thing you pick up. So if you find a Titan operator, best case scenario, but really not that much better because you still don't want to get in a fight, you won't have any healing or equipment, try to stick to the hiding. So I don't know why the challenge says to use the first item you pick up. To me, using the word first implies having multiple things and only using the first one. They should have wrote get to the top 5 having only picked up one item. Now, I did say I'd show a couple of the things that I tested and I know don't work. One thing I tried was just doing some looting, then I got to the top 5 using absolutely nothing at all. No perks, no equipment, I didn't fire a shot. Well, I was in the top 5, but that didn't count because I looted multiple things. I also thought maybe I actually have to use the first thing I pick up, and that's what the challenge is saying. I can't just use nothing at all. Well, I didn't do a great job at testing that because I ran someone over first, but then I did pick up one thing, being this Hades, with the ammo though, and one attachment. I did make sure to put the attachment directly on the gun without it ever going in my inventory in case that mattered. I figured I'd try it, and I got one kill with that later on, so that I used what I picked up, and ended in the top 5. Again, that didn't count, but not too surprising. I thought that maybe could have been because of the truck kill, but now I'm fairly sure that would have worked if I didn't pick up the ammo or attachment. So that's really it. At this point, I'm just talking for the sake of talking. I could have had the entire guide be, hey, only pick up one thing. That's really all you need to know, but I did lead with that. It was entirely optional to waste your time by watching the rest of the video, and in good faith, it isn't 10 minutes long, alright? I never try to stretch anything out. I just wanted to cover every detail. Okay, well, I get that maybe this guide wasn't the most necessary, but it's final season, I've been very busy, I already had this footage lying around, and multiplayer stuff takes a lot longer to grind out, but I'll get back to that when I can. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you next time.